Every single day, more than 1,000 seniors go silently and unknowingly toward a deadly trap inside their arteries. They trust their usual morning routines, unaware that simple habits could be setting the stage for a catastrophic event later in life. It begins with something as seemingly harmless as their choice of breakfast. Many start their mornings with white bread or sugary cereals because they believe it's quick, familiar, and safe. However, these foods are doing more damage than they realize. When consumed, they cause abrupt spikes in blood sugar levels, often rising by 50 to 70 points within just 15 minutes. For example, a senior eating a slice of white bread or a bowl of frosted cereal experiences a rapid glucose increase, which then triggers an inflammatory response in the arteries. Over days and weeks, this pattern repeats, sometimes 2, 3, or even 4 times a day, exacerbating the problem. This repetitive early warning sign, the blood sugar spike, sets off a chain reaction that damages the arterial walls. The body perceives these sudden inflows of sugar and insulin as a danger signal, leading to a low-grade but persistent inflammation inside the arteries. This inflammation does not cause immediate pain or visible symptoms, but it is quietly weakening the integrity of the blood vessels. Over months, the inner lining of the arteries sustains microscopic tears which are almost impossible to detect. These tiny fissures serve as sites where fatty deposits, known as plaques, begin to cling and accumulate. These plaques are made up of cholesterol, dead cells, and other debris that gather slowly and relentlessly. They grow larger and more unstable with each passing week, gradually narrowing the blood flow pathways. What makes this process so insidious is its stealth nature. There are no obvious signs or warning signals that a senior might notice. The inflammation is internal, constant, and silently damaging the arteries beneath the surface. Without intervention, this buildup continues beneath the skin, deep within the circulatory system, all while the seniors remain unaware that their daily habits are inching them closer to danger. The blood vessels become less elastic and more prone to rupture or blockage over time. The body is susceptible to a critical event when a plaque suddenly ruptures, exposing a sticky, dangerous core that triggers the formation of a blood clot. This clot can rapidly grow and completely block a vital artery, causing a heart attack or stroke that often occurs without any immediate warning signs. The process that begins with a morning slice of bread or spoonful of sugary cereal can, in just a matter of months, escalate to a life-threatening event. Recognizing these early signals is crucial because the damage compounds silently until it's too late. As weeks turn into months, the invisible damage within the arteries intensifies. Tiny tears, so small they are invisible to the naked eye, begin to form within the delicate inner lining of blood vessels. These microscopic fissures are caused by the relentless inflammation triggered by repeated blood sugar spikes from breakfast foods like white bread or sugary cereals eaten each morning. This inflammation weakens the endothelial cells that line the arteries, making them more fragile and susceptible to injury. Within 45 minutes after a high-sugar meal, blood glucose levels can soar by as much as 50 to 70 points, inciting an inflammatory response that damages the artery walls. The body attempts to repair these microscopic tears, but each repair process inadvertently creates a foothold for plaque deposits. These deposits are composed of cholesterol, dead cells, and cellular debris, which clump around the damaged areas as the body's natural response to injury. Over successive weeks, these plaques grow larger, deeper into the vessel walls, forcing the artery to narrow gradually. Medical studies have shown that patients with advanced plaque buildup often have arteries narrowed by 50% or more before warning signs appear. This insidious process fuels a cycle of damage and further inflammation, creating a dangerous environment for the patient's health. The buildup of plaques causes the arteries to lose elasticity, becoming stiff and more prone to rupture under stress, such as physical exertion, emotional shock, or sudden increases in blood pressure. When a plaque destabilizes, it can rupture without warning. This rupture exposes the core of the plaque, which is rich in sticky, dangerous substances. Under the high-pressure conditions within the artery, the rupture triggers the formation of a blood clot, or thrombus, which begins to grow silently, sometimes over the span of mere seconds. This clot acts like a plug, further narrowing the vessel and sometimes completely occluding it. The process can unfold so rapidly that the individual remains unaware until symptoms suddenly appear. The clot's growth is an exponential process. Within minutes, it can expand to completely block a critical artery serving the heart or the brain. When a key coronary artery is blocked, The victim may experience a massive heart attack, the pain radiating through the chest and into the arm or jaw. If a carotid artery is involved, a stroke can occur suddenly, with paralysis, speech impairment, or loss of consciousness happening in seconds. The critical factor is timing. Once the clot fully occludes the artery, no amount of medical intervention can undo the damage if not caught immediately. The entire cascade from a harmless breakfast to a fatal event underscores the urgent need for prevention. Addressing the inflammation early, by replacing sugary cereals with steel-cut oats topped with a handful of berries and a sprinkle of walnuts, can significantly slow or halt this destructive cascade. Keeping blood sugar levels under control, ideally maintaining a fasting glucose below 90 milligrams per deciliter and avoiding spikes above 120, is essential. Consuming oatmeal at breakfast with a measured serving of half a cup of dry oats cooked in 250 milliliters of water, topped with a quarter cup of fresh berries and 2 tablespoons of chopped walnuts, delivers anti-inflammatory benefits. Such simple dietary adjustments can dramatically reduce the internal inflammation and prevent microscopic tears from forming, ultimately safeguarding the arteries from the destructive cycle that leads to rupture, clot formation, and catastrophic blood vessel blockage. In the critical moments when a blood clot suddenly blocks a vital artery inside an elderly person's body, the danger escalates exponentially. Sometimes these clots form so rapidly, within mere seconds, that emergency medical help arrives too late to save the victim. Imagine an elderly individual enjoying their morning routine, unaware that a tiny tear in their artery has just set off a chain reaction. Within seconds to a minute, a large clot may develop at the site of a rupture, quickly growing and obstructing the flow of oxygen-rich blood to the brain or heart. This rapid development often leaves no time for the person to react or seek help, resulting in irreversible brain damage from lack of oxygen or a fatal heart attack that claims life before the ambulance can even arrive. Medical reports and emergency room experiences consistently reveal that many seniors suffer catastrophic events precisely because these clots evolve in the blink of an eye. Without rapid intervention, like advanced clot-busting treatments, tissue death becomes inevitable, and the damage is permanent. Time is truly of the essence in these cases, and the speed at which these clots develop determines whether rescue is possible or if tragedy is unavoidable. Autopsies performed on hundreds of seniors who died suddenly confirm this horrifying reality. Nearly 90% of these cases reveal massive ruptured plaques embedded deep within the arteries right before the catastrophic event occurred. These plaques, often silent for years, gradually grow as microscopic tears develop in the artery walls due to consistent damage from repeated blood sugar spikes caused by breakfast foods like sugary cereals or white bread. When these plaques rupture, they expose their sticky cores to the bloodstream, triggering the immediate formation of blood clots. The autopsy evidence shows that the majority of sudden deaths result from this exact process: massive clot formation at the site of a ruptured plaque. These ruptures often go unnoticed until it's too late because symptoms may be absent or extremely subtle until an irreversible event unfolds. As the clot expands rapidly within seconds to minutes, it occludes the artery completely, cutting off vital blood flow and sealing the victim's fate. The tragic aspect is that these silent buildup processes are completely preventable. Regular screening through non-invasive tests to identify early plaque formation, combined with proactive dietary changes, such as switching from sugary cereals and white bread to steel-cut oats topped with berries and walnuts, can markedly reduce the risk of plaque rupture. Keeping blood sugar levels within a safe range by monitoring fasting glucose, ideally below 90 milligrams per deciliter, and avoiding spikes above 120 after meals, can dramatically slow or halt this destructive process, saving countless lives. Recognizing the terrifying speed at which these events can unfold underscores the importance of proactive prevention before the final, deadly moment arrives. The ultimate tragic consequence is often triggered by a seemingly minor misstep, an overlooked breakfast food that has been consumed daily for years. The tiny, innocent snack can serve as the catalyst for an unstoppable cascade, where an unnoticed microscopic tear turns into a massive, life-ending clot within seconds. This final danger underscores how crucial it is to address the underlying arterial health long before symptoms appear. An unchecked buildup of silent plaques, combined with poor dietary habits, creates an environment where just one little mistake can be enough to cause the unthinkable, an instant, irreversible death. An elderly person may unknowingly continue their usual breakfast routine, unaware that beneath the surface their arteries are compromised and primed for disaster. When the conditions align, perhaps a moment of emotional stress, elevated blood pressure, or physical exertion, the plaque rupture and subsequent clot formation can happen suddenly, with no warning. The flow of oxygen to vital organs is cut off completely, and within seconds, the victim can be lost forever. This underscores the urgent need for preventative measures fueled by precise dietary choices and regular health monitoring. Small adjustments, such as eating steel-cut oats with half a cup of water at 60 degrees Celsius, topped with a quarter cup of fresh berries and a tablespoon of chopped walnuts, can significantly reinforce arterial health and prevent that final deadly step in this silent, deadly cascade. Every day that passes without intervention is a risk, and understanding that one seemingly harmless breakfast can be the trigger that ends life instantaneously makes it clear that vigilance, education, and proactive dietary strategies are essential tools in battling this invisible killer.